What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at two more of the newly buffed Pokemon for Season 21, the Go Battle League Dual Destinies. First up, we have Gliscor, which got access to Sand Attack. Sand Attack's a really nice buff for Gliscor since it does gain energy very quickly, and it still does 2 damage per turn as well. And as a one-turn move, getting that consistent 2 damage every single turn can be a game changer. It definitely has put Gliscor back into the meta. However, I'm also trying out Melmetal. Melmetal got a buff because Thundershock now does 1 more damage per Thundershock. It's a 2-turn move, so every 2 turns you're getting 1 additional damage. And I think this is one that people are kind of sleeping on. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be meta just yet, but it does have winning or positive win rates in both the 1 and 2 shield scenario. In the 1 shield, it goes 20, I have it here, 20 and 16. And in the 2s, it goes 19 and 17. So both positive win rates. And even looking at the 1 shield, some of the losses are not super common. Things like Shadow Machamp. It exists, not super common. Shadow Alolan Marowak. Again, it's there. I've seen it at rank 1 and rank 2, but as I climb higher, I'm not expecting to see as many Shadow Alolan Marowaks. Charge Bug, it's kind of fallen out of the meta. Shadow Quagsire, I will say when I was in the 3400s last season, I saw a lot of Quagsire there, but typically I don't see that much in the Open Great League. So I think some of these losses you're not going to see too much, and maybe I'll give Melmetal a little bit more play. Let's see how it does in this video. Let's go ahead and get into the battles. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you're new. Alright, Gliscor into Superior. So the really nice thing about Gliscor is it's part ground and part flying. So it's a ground type that can fight back against the grass types. And of course, it's really good into the fighters as well. Now, since it has Sand Attack, we are going to need 2 Aerial Aces. There's no way that you're ever going to Sand Attack down this Superior, but the Aerial Ace does put them into yellow, which allows me to eat this Frenzy Plant and then feel comfortable going in Dugong to look for that Ice Shard down. When we go in Dugong, we lure out a Dunsparce, which I'm happy to lure out. That means Melmetal can avoid the ground type damage that this will put out. Of course, Melmetal has superpower, but you have to drop your attack and your defense to use it. So I'd much rather lure it out here and take care of it with my Gliscor. We're going to be able to throw on CMP right here. Of course, they do win CMP, but Rock Slide, not the greatest move. We will definitely survive it and get this second Icy Wind off, dropping their attack a second time. Now, I'm not sure if they would have been able to get the rollout down, so I do actually decide to get aggressive here. I come back in with my Gliscor, get a few Sand Attacks in, and they swap out into their Superior. Now, I'm going to be able to outpace to the first Aerial Ace, and we even make a second one since they are looking for the aggressive farm down. So Aerial Ace number 2 coming through thanks to Sand Attack just gaining energy so quickly. I come in with Melmetal thinking they might throw the Aerial Ace, expecting Dugong to come back in. They do go for the Frenzy Plant. Doesn't do too much. It is resisted damage, but we will have to shield up this second one. Now I'm building up. We do have double Iron Bash as our cheap move. They come back in with their Dunsparce. I know that they are close to a move, so I am going to go ahead and fire off this first double Iron Bash to take out the Dunsparce, keeping in mind that Superior is still alive with a little bit of energy on it. In the back, going to be a Clodsire. Now, you would think this is a horrible matchup. You would think that this game is over, but since Melmetal is so spammy with these double Iron Bashes, we actually can fight back right here, and they have to throw an Earthquake to take us out. Stone Edge, Sledge Bomb definitely not going to do it, and we're never going to be in Poison Sting downrange. So I go ahead and I catch on my Dugong. If it wasn't an exact catch, it wouldn't have really mattered. They would have had to throw some energy, and I would have got some Ice Shards in the meantime, but it ends up being the catch on the Superpower, which is great. Going to be just spamming out these double Iron Bashes, making sure that I keep some residual energy since I know that Superior is still alive. And I am going to be shielding up right here. It is going to be the Sledge Bomb bait. Feels bad. I build up to the back-to-backs, and they do make a catch. However, I need to throw a double Iron Bash into this Superior anyways, so I'm kind of okay with that. I'm going to throw the next double Iron Bash immediately, hoping this picks up the KO, and it does not, but one more Thundershock does it. That might be thanks to the Thundershock buff. Thundershock doing just slightly more damage now, even though it's double resisted. I'm not sure. Maybe it still just does 1 into Clodsire. I could be wrong. But it felt like a good win to me. All right, into the next one. Up against a bit of an awkward lead, right? This is a grass type lead, so Gliscor could throw aerial aces into it, but they'd also be double resisting the sand attack. So I'm going to be coming in with my Dugong, doing double super effective damage with the ice shards, and then they do eventually throw in the Azumarill after hitting me with the energy ball. Going to be chipping away with these drill runs. I should be pretty close. I should be in play rough range at this point. So I'm going to just go ahead and let my Dugong go. I'm going to be coming in with Melmetal. Melmetal chipping away with these Thunder Shocks. Of course, Azumarill very bulky, so you're not going to see it just shred through it. It's a non-stab Thunder Shock anyways, but we're going to be able to build up so much energy so quickly. I'm at the double Iron Bash, plus 1 Thunder Shock actually. So I'm going to be able to just throw this before they're able to potentially catch. And I'm not expecting them to shield this, so I was really just maximizing my energy there. It wasn't optimal timing, but it was still good enough timing. They come out with a Marowak. I'm going to go ahead and dip into my Gliscor, and they're staying in here, which is great for me. I'm able to build up a lot of energy. We can tank that Rock Slide. Rock Slide, not the greatest move, right? We've talked about it. Going to build up a ton of energy. We have the Aerial Ace ready to go. First one going to put them into the red, and the second one would be lethal. So now this Jumpluff is going to be forced to throw up a shield if they want to stay alive, which of course they do. That Marowak's never making it through this Gliscor. I'm going to go ahead and shield up now. It is the Aerial Ace bait. Feels bad to shield that, but I'm going to come in with Melmetal, and I'm actually going to be able to get a CMP tie right here with this double Iron Bash. They have to shield this if they want to keep this Jumpluff alive. And again, this is really their only way of taking out my Gliscor. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this energy ball. And they stay in too long trying to farm up extra energy. I make it to another double Iron Bash, take out the Jumpluff, and this game is just over at this point. We can still survive a Rock Slide if we really need to. But I think the safe play here is just to go ahead and throw up a shield and then just go for the double Aerial Ace. Perhaps Earthquake would KO, but it's a bit of a risk, right? We know double Aerial Ace will for sure do it. You're going to see, actually it looks like it's going to be just shy, but the consistent one turn sand attacks just chipping away at this Marowak is really nice, and that final sand attack going to go through and get me the win. Alright, into the next one. Up against an Azumarill lead. This is definitely not what we want to see on our Gliscor, so we're going to be swapping out into our Dugong, and we lure out a Talonflame. Now I'm going to be making sure that I do not allow a full Incinerate to sneak, but I should be able to flip switch here if I really want to. Really happy to see this Talonflame on my Dugong because of Gliscor is not going to have the greatest time, and Melmetal definitely not loving to see the Talonflame since we are not running Rock Slide. By the way, if you're thinking about Rock Slide, it just sims worse, right? Rock Slide, it's just not going to do the things that you want it to do consistently. Yes, it's great that it can hit fire types for super effective, which is one of Melmetal's weaknesses. But then what are you throwing into the fighters? You're having to throw superpower. It's not helping against the ground types anyways. Double Iron Bash really helped against Clodsire earlier. And double Iron Bash is just going to be more energy efficient into things like Azumarill anyways. So Azumarill going to be throwing here. Most are not running Hydro Pump, so I do not respect it. Going to no shield and start spamming off these double Iron Bash. It's not the hardest hitting move by any means, but you just get there so quickly that it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So we're going to be able to overfarm again here. Go for another double Iron Bash. If you want to count how many double Iron Bashes there are in this video, I don't think you're going to be able to. Like, there's so many. There's so many that we're able to just spam off thanks to Thundershock. Yeah, I don't know. Melmetal kind of impressed me. I didn't see any other creator talk about this besides JRE, who posts articles on Reddit, and I know there's a website as well. I'm not the best at actually reading articles and websites, but he posts on Reddit quite often, and he mentioned Melmetal, and I was like, really? So I looked at the Sims, I was impressed, I decided to give it a shot, and it really did put in some good work for me. In fact, I went 9-1 with this team. The only game I lost was honestly because of my kids came in the room and I got a little bit distracted. So is what it is. It was a winnable game. It was a very winnable game, but you know, We take losses sometimes. Anyways, into the next one. Up against a Shadow Hypno lead. Shadow Hypno, definitely one that got buffed this season since it does have access to all 3 elemental punches. I'm hoping to catch the Ice Punch here. However, we end up catching a Thunder Punch, which would have been resisted into Gliscor. So, yeah, I mean, GG's, I guess. Anyways, we lure out a Machamp, so it's not like my Dugong was going to do a ton of work anyways. Happy to lure this out and happy that I have energy on my Gliscor to help handle this very quickly as well. So going to throw the Aerial Ace before the Machamp fires off its next move. Aerial Ace, of course, does take out. The Hypno is dry on energy. However, it only takes 3 confusions to the second move. And I decide I want to go ahead and come in with my Melmetal to start building up energy. I'm going to respect the potential Fire Punch right here, since it seems like they were not running Ice Punch, and it is indeed the Fire Punch. Going to be firing off the first Double Iron Bash, grabbing the shield from the Hypno, very nice. And they're going to be firing again, so it is 3, I guess, to the third one. It's been a while since I fought a Hypno, so I was thinking it was 4 again. I guess it's only 3. Doesn't really matter. We're going to go ahead and throw up that shield, and we're going to just start spamming out these Double Iron Bashes. First one does connect. They come out with a Morpeko trying to catch the Double Iron Bash, but we have a Superpower ready to go. Superpower one-shots the Morpeko, and in comes the Hypno, and the game is just over at this point, because even debuffed this Double Iron Bash, it's going to do enough to pull the shield. I have a ton of energy on my Gliscor, or at least some energy on my Gliscor. This Hypno does not have Thunder Punch, and we even make a second Double Iron Bash. So that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Only thing I wish is that Double Iron Bash was a shorter name, so every time I have to say it the 100 times throughout this video, it would just be a little bit easier, right? You know, work on that Niantic. No, I'm just kidding. All right, into the next one. Wigglytuff lead. Going to be coming in with my Dugong, just knowing that I have my Melmetal that I would love to get on this. I was hoping that they'd swap out, but they do decide to stay in. They throw the Icy Wind. It's double resisted, going to do basically no damage, and then they come out with a Gastrodon. This is actually a pretty crazy thing you're about to see, because they're going to go straight for the Body Slam, and I'm debuffed. Body Slam does basically nothing. We're going to throw this next Icy Wind immediately. We're going to get this Gastrodon solo. That's just easy cleanup, right? Into the red, despite my Dugong being half HP and debuffed. I was really happy with that. So we're going to come in now with Gliscor. If they have Water Pulse, so be it. They're double debuffed. They throw the Body Slam, and then they come in with their Wigglytuff. And now I make a decision to stay in and throw this Aerial Ace. Why? Because they still have that ground type attacker that's going to be tough for my Melmetal to take out unless I grab a shield. Or potentially, they could have let their Wigglytuff go, and then they would have brought it back into my Gliscor, and I could have handled it there. So you're going to see, going to farm up to a ton of energy, basically 100 energy, fire off this Double Iron Bash. Now if they come back in with that Gastrodon, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for it. Instead, they have a second ground type in the back, going to be the Shadow Marowak, not Alolan, just the regular Cantonian Marowak. But we're going to be able to get it into the yellow. Look at that. 2 Double Iron Bashes into the yellow. And now we can come in with Gliscor and just start cooking. Now, this was a misplay. They'd only done 4 Mud Slaps. The second I threw up that shield, I was like, wait, that was not 5. That was not 5. So, a bit of a misplay. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and shoot up this Body Slam. Throw the Aerial Ace to either grab the final shield or take out this Gastrodon. It does indeed take out the Gastrodon. And all I have to do now is make it to 1 Aerial Ace, because I'm going to be able to make it to another Double Iron Bash, I believe. Maybe not. Doesn't really matter. I have second Aerial Ace right here, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. So Gliscor definitely putting in a lot of work right there, but definitely helps that it's a flying type and they had 2 ground types. All right, Shadow Jumpluff in the next one. They swap out into a Stunfisk, another Pokemon that did get buffed and really just skyrocketed up the rankings. But since this is their best answer to my Dugong, I'm going to go ahead and just shield up this first discharge and start debuffing them. I can definitely flip switch here if I want to. And if I want to, I can use the second shield and keep my Dugong very healthy as well. But I decided to go ahead and let this second discharge come through. So Icy Wind going to be fired off now. Icy Wind probably not enough to take out Duron. I don't think would have been quite enough either. It would have been close. I think if it would have gone Duron, they wouldn't have made another discharge, but if they threw up the shield, then this discharge would have taken me out. So felt like Icy Wind was the safer play. Anyways, they're going to be coming in now with their, was it Jump Bluff? No, it's going to be Diggersby. So they were triple weak to ice. I'm going to be able to align my Gliscor on this Diggersby after debuffing them. Out comes the Jump Bluff, and now we can just wall this energy with Melmetal. Thundershock does hit for neutral. Double Iron Bash also hits for neutral. This should be a great matchup, at least on paper. So we'll see how it actually plays out. They did have a slight energy lead, so we'll see if that comes into play. But you can see 2 energy balls not going to be enough to KO. In fact, I think even if they got the defense drop there, I would still survive another energy ball. So now I'm going to be able to overfarm, throw a double Iron Bash there. And what do you know? We already have another double Iron Bash. It's just incredible, the pacing of this thing. They do come back in with the Diggersby, and I am going to go ahead and let this Fire Punch go. Fire Punch did get buffed, but it's still not enough to take out the Melmetal, and now I can come in with my Gliscor. They've already shown Fire Punch, so I'm confident they're not running Hyper Beam. I don't really have to respect the damage there. I'm going to build up and go for the Quake before they make it to another Fire Punch. Quake should be enough to take out. Yes, it is. And now all they have left is this Jump Bluff, and there's just no way for me to lose. I can shield this, I can make an Arrow Ace, or I can let it go, and I can make a double Iron Bash. Decide to go ahead and just get the Arrow Ace off since we're already almost there, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. So, Gliscor definitely put in a lot of work, right? I think it's a little bit awkward into Grass type still, but I think that you will see quite a bit of Gliscor throughout this season. Melmetal, I'm still kind of on the edge about, right? Because it is still very weak to the ground types, and I think there's going to be a lot of ground types in this meta. But anything that's not a ground type, it seemed to do quite well into it. Or, of course, fire types. So we didn't really see fire types. I don't know how much fire we're going to see with all the ground types running around in general. So, I think it has potential. It has potential, but you really have to dodge the ground types. Its moveset is good now. Its moveset is good enough to make it a player. I think in limited cups, we're definitely going to see some Melmetal. Open Great League, we'll just have to see how the meta shakes out. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like and a comment down below. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.